Come on, man. You got Larry June in the building. You listen to the Morning Roast, and we're doing numbers, man. Good job, Morning Roast. Sock it to me. Hey. Yee!
The Morning Roast. We only do numbers when the butcher is back in the saddle.
Hey,
he's
Bonte.
back.
Bonte.
Joe Shasky's back, baby. And the numbers are back. Well, actually, they look the same. But, hey, Joe Shasky, the numbers are up.
They're always up when I'm in. Come on, stock's always rising. You know what stock is down, though? And I know we're going to get to Slater here in a second, talk a little Golden State Warriors. I saw a trailer yesterday for White Men Can't Jump, a reboot.
Oh, my God.
Who was asking for a remake of a perfect movie?
With Jack Harlow.
Who, by the way, I know the other guy. Apparently,
the
other guy who's in it played at the Hilltop. That's what Ollie Thomas told me on Twitter. I was unaware. I'm not trying to rip him. All I'm saying is, why can Hollywood not create new concepts?
Dude,
why does everything have to be rebooted? Who was begging for White Men Can't Jump 2?
Ollie Thomas is tweeting now?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we follow each other.
Yeah, I know. I just texted him the other day. I didn't know he was on Twitter.
Yeah, he hit me up, and he basically said that the guy played at the Hilltop with. Wow. I don't know if he played with him. I'm assuming he's younger. But, like... I
just didn't take Ollie Thomas to be a tweeter. You know, it's kind of low-key, quiet, behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, Bonte, unlike yourself, you know, sometimes people want to reach out and touch your boy. You know what I mean? And so you tweet at me, I tweet back, 40 Water.
Fast Five. Xfinity Fast 5.
Here's the question I have.
Xfinity Fast 5. How many more years will the Niners' window of contention be open? How many more years will this 49ers window be open in terms of being a title contender? That'd be the Fast 5, Xfinity Fast 5 question of the day.
And I would also add in there, who was asking for a White Man Can't Jump remake? Like I'm like outraged over this. It really pisses me off.
It does, because White Man Can't Jump is my favorite basketball movie, and I wonder if it's Anthony Slater's favorite basketball movie. And Jack Harlow, who's nominated for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys. That's how far rap has fallen. I don't get the Jack Harlow tweet, although First Class was a really good song. I'll give him that. Anthony Slater, our 95.7 Game Insider, here on the roast, as he is every single week. He's going to do it every single week during basketball season. Anthony Slater breaking down Golden State Warriors basketball, and he'll throw a little Kings in there as well. He's all over the Sacramento Kings. Anthony, good morning, man.
Jack Harlow just having some breakfast this morning, chilling. He might want to listen to some sports radio. You guys just tossing strays at him.
Just throwing strays at him, left
Slater.
and right. It's not his fault that he wants to play Billy Hoyle, but come on, man. Why are we remaking White Man Can't Jump? That's a disrespect.
Money. Why you think so much of this stuff goes on in the world? You'll probably pop on Hulu and watch it, I'm sure.
I will watch it. No doubt I will watch it. However, I didn't watch the remake of The Sandlot. I didn't watch The Sandlot 2 and 3. I am contributing.
But this is like when they redid Ghostbusters, but they had to do it with a female cast because, you know, you got to be appropriate in America in 2022. And it's like no one was asking for the all-female cast of the Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was fine just the way it was. It's the same thing with White Men Can't Jump. There is no need to do a redo on a perfect movie.
You're generally right, but they're probably going to pocket, a few million or something. Jack Harlow going to get a paycheck. They're all going to get paychecks, so that's why they did it. I'm just trying to explain why.
Yeah, I can't hate on Jack Harlow getting some cash. I will not hate on him, and I will probably watch it. It'll probably be a good date night movie. You could just laugh at it, There you go.
Yeah, I showed it to my wife, kind of making fun of the trailer, because, by the way, it was a bad trailer. I was like,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's terrible," but I'm probably down to watch it. So that's us. That's America. Welcome to America.
Hey, Anna and I have a date night planned in May. White Man Can't Jump on a Friday night, courtesy of Hulu. Let's go.
Hey, hon, 4 months from now, I'm going to take you on a date.
You don't even got to leave the house.
Theater. Yeah, it's great.
You get some Trader Joe's white cheddar popcorn, get some wine, call it the day. Anyway.
Little pirate booty?
There you go, and that's what you do.
That's what it's called. It's a white popcorn.
Oh, is that
cheddar.
what it is?
It's called pirate booty.
I haven't seen it. I don't even know what it's called. I just opened up the bag. It's so good.
Delicious.
Somebody who was so good last night was Klay Thompson to start. Actually, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, they're all good. But starting off with Klay Thompson, 12 threes made last night. 42 points. He was on a heater, 27 in the first half. Anthony, you covered the team inside and out. How close is Klay Thompson offensively to regaining that form he had before he got injured in the 2019 finals?
I don't think he'll ever fully be back because I just don't ever think like the burst, quickness, coming off screens. I'm not just talking like off the dribble because we all know he's never been, giving him the ball, pick and rolls, but just, there's no way to summon what he used to be able to from a endurance standpoint on a 37 minute per night basis, but he can still get to it. Just ask the Thunder. I was laughing in the hallway with Thunder people at halftime last night. Like, what did you do to this guy? Because it's every time. I mean, if you ask him, he's like a top 10 player of all time. It's like every time we play this guy, he just hits everything. So it's still in there. And like, you look at his January like splits are as good as any of his like prime months ever. It's like 27 per game, 43% from three. He's still an elite floor spacer, within the NBA world. But look, it's understandable to say a guy who I believe is turning 33 this week, next week.
Yeah.
And has obviously had the injuries he's had. Like, he's never going to be what he was at 27 or 28. But that doesn't mean he can't still be like an elite offensive weapon as he showed last night.
Yeah, I love how he's evolving right now, and he looks like he's actually doing a pretty good job defensively as well, and they're switching him on to 2, 3, 4s, all kinds of stuff. How do they get Jordan Poole to replicate that kind of a floor game more consistently?
I think, did you hear him in postgame? They're like,
No.
This is the best he's ever played. Steve Kerr said that, Draymond Green walks in, and they're saying the best game Jordan Poole's ever played, which I wouldn't agree with, but I can tell why. They're doing it because they're trying to promote to him, like, this is how we need him to play. It's a little bit like, remember Wiseman on Christmas Day played like 10 minutes against Memphis and like didn't even take a shot, but he had a couple nice verticalities, and they were like, best we've ever seen Wiseman. They try to convince these young guys that sometimes like the team game is more important than the stat sheet, essentially. Jordan Poole ends up having a nice stat sheet last night, 18 points, 12 assists. I ended with 4 turnovers, but it was a few late. There weren't those like really bad turnovers where he's just kind of out of control. That is the word Steve Kerr used, controlled. So we'll see. Maybe just like telling him, hey, look, you are the point guard now. You must settle the offense. If Klay Thompson's hot, you must get him the ball. Maybe that helps more than you're the second unit, guard behind Steph Curry. We just need offense.
Anthony Slater joining us on the Bud Light Guest Line. All posters and guests appear on the Bud Light Guest Line. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. James Wiseman, because he is a polarizing figure with this fan base. Will James Wiseman be a member of the Golden State Warriors after the trade deadline, Anthony?
I think it's up in the air. I really do. I wrote about it a little bit today, but you are hearing a little bit. Obviously everyone in the league's having conversations with each other right now, but over the last 48 hours, 24 hours, you've heard, hey, the Warriors are making more calls than they had, and they're at least discussing deals more realistically or with a more serious approach that something might actually happen. Now that doesn't mean it will. I've talked about this too, like, the imbalance in the market is a little difficult with them because, the way they still value Moody, and I'm talking front office, the way they still value James Wiseman is a lot different than, rival teams who I think very understandably would look outside looking in and go, you're not playing these guys at all, so we're not going to give you much for them. We're still interested. They're still intriguing prospects, but, it's difficult to give the value that you would want because, front office still believes these guys are future rotation players, and I understand that belief, but also the league's like they're not right now, clearly.
So I feel like they're at an impasse here. Then, like, right? Do they wait this out until the off season in terms of a major movement and kind of see how the rest of the season plays out, or do you think they make a move here?
Depends on what materializes. It's funny. I talked to Draymond Green a little bit about the deadline last night. His opinion, league-wide, was like it's going to be one of those deadlines where 95 things get discussed as possibilities, and like 4 of them happen. Right? One of those like everyone's saying it's going haywire, and then it won't. I don't know. Like I can't get a full read because there is a lot of stuff really kind of just like floating out there as possibilities. Obviously, Toronto sounds like the team that could really break the dam, but Toronto always kind of seems like they posture with their guys and a lot of times don't actually move off of them. So I will say I think if the Warriors really like something, they might jump. But I just don't know that they're going to really like something.
Interesting.
What would they be looking for? Like what exactly? What's the skill set that they are looking for in a trade realistically right now?
From my understanding, it is like somebody that can help now that's not just like, he's a ninth man that could be on the fringe of the rotation, like might be a JaMychal Green upgrade. It's more like, in the Dante DiVincenzo, even at this point, you could rope Jonathan Kuminga type rotation realm with like you're the 6th, 7th man, but on certain nights you could close, right? Like if they go and get somebody, it's going to want to be a guaranteed rotation piece, a guaranteed help right now, an upgrade, really. So is that there? Tough to know. I've heard they've kind of been more floated, like, especially for the younger guys, like future stuff, draft pick type stuff, and they're not really in the I guess ballpark for that, or I guess that doesn't help their current motives. What's out there? I mean, Jared Vanderbilt's an upgrade potentially. You could argue, but then maybe he blocks away for Kuminga. Do they want to do that? I don't know. I mean, are they willing to pay that price? You hear, Utah's waiting out for a first-round pick for him. Is he worth that? I mean, he's a solid rotation player. That's just, I don't know. I don't love where the market's at from a buyer-seller perspective if you are a buyer.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Anthony Slater here on the Bud Light guest line. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Talking some Dubs here. Andrew Wiggins showed some signs of life yesterday, and I thought he did in the last OKC game, and then followed up with a solid game in Minnesota where he went and combined 14 and 26. Then I had to step back, of course, against the Denver Nuggets where he missed 9 straight shots and went 3 of 14. And, of course, Saturday night wasn't effective on the glass as well. Andrew Wiggins, I think, is a big key if the Warriors are going to stabilize their season without Stephen Curry over the next 3 weeks, Anthony.
Yeah, for sure. He was 45% from 3 before he went out with that groin injury. I remember the game he went out, he was, like, so happy in the locker room post-game. I think he had 8 threes against Houston. I remember chatting with him like, you 40% from 3 used to be a goal for you. And I was telling him, you went up over 45% tonight. Right. And he was just like discussing how good his season was going. But I was also like, yeah, I got a little tightness, in the leg area. And then it was like, boom, suddenly he's out for 15 games and everything gets derailed. And I think within that, you just forget how important he became. Because he still kind of is Andrew Wiggins. The reputation is from that preceded him before last year's playoffs is like, he kind of floats in and out. Like, he helps the Warriors, but he isn't vital. Mm-hmm. He has become vital. Like, they do need his 19 per game. You saw his defense last night. I thought he was good on Shea after maybe that opening stretch where Shea really got off. They need that. And I don't know that they're going to do this moving forward. I don't even know that they should. But I did like seeing Kuminga starting last night because I want to see more lineups that are Kuminga, Wiggins, Draymond.
Yeah.
That's switchable, that's long, athletic. You play a team like the Thunder, you can throw one on Giddey, throw one on Shea, and still have Draymond on the back end. So I think that's intriguing, and we haven't seen much Kuminga Wiggins together, and I think we will over the next couple of months.
And Looney's playing really well off the bench. Looney's having a very solid season, especially on the glass. Thought his rebound late in the game against Dallas saved the game. A big-time offensive rebound. Looney coming off the bench with Dante DiVincenzo all of a sudden lengthens your bench. So, like where the Warriors are at. Let's see what happens in Portland tomorrow night. It should be a shootout up there in Portland where they'll play for the second time in just under a month here. Anthony Slater, our 95.7 The Game insider, does it better than anybody on the Warriors beat. Anthony, good stuff, man.
All right, fellas.